This is lesson number 5 of 7 of the JSCause tutorial from JSCause.org by 8th Jouster. In this lesson, we'll handle storing content in files. In our example, our food recipes represent such content. We're not using a database since JSCause can natively deal with databases, at least not at the time of making this lesson. However, JSCause will include a way to connect to databases in a future version. Also, at the time of writing this tutorial, there is no built-in JSCause way to write a file, so we'll use good old Node.js's FS or file system module to write to a file. This is actually a good thing since it will also allow us to showcase how to deal with asynchronous calls that don't have an equivalent in JSCause. Anyway, we'll store the recipe data in a text file with the same name as the recipe photo with a txt file extension. And for that, we'll extract the name of the photo without whatever extension it came with. We'll use a regular expression for that. So we are going to use this one, which essentially means match a string that has a dot in it and remember everything that comes before the last dot. So let's test this in the browser. If we have the following string abc.123 and test our regular expression here, we see that we get abc with no extension. In this case, that will be .123. We just get abc. All right, back to the code. Let's add a variable with that file name extraction with the regular expression that we just demonstrated right here. File name with no extension. Once we have the name, let's create the new file name with a txt file extension. We're actually going to create a file path with the new name pointing to recipes. And as you can see here, we have the txt file extension. The contents of the file is easy. Just 2 lines with the title and the description. That's it. Title and description. That's it. And now let's use fs.writefile to write to it. fs.writefile is asynchronous like the JSCause's move file function. So once the operation completes, a callback will be invoked. The callback is empty right now. In it, we'll check if we have any errors. If we do, we inform the visitor and return, effectively terminating the callback. If there are no errors, though, we'll display a nice success message. Notice how the message is in HTML and how we leave it out from the JS block. I just noticed that I haven't defined fsPath. This is actually the path module, which we have already used previously in the code. Let's assign this module to the variable fsPath so we can reuse it later in the code. So we can replace this here. And now fsPath is indeed defined. I should have done that earlier. Sorry about that. All right, our code is now ready. Let's give it a try. Let's create a new recipe. So let's restart JSCause. And let's create a new recipe. Tomato salad. Let's select the image. Let's provide a description. Let's submit the recipe. And now we see the form, but there is no message about the recipe being added. The photo was uploaded successfully, which was already there. Did the recipe get created at all? Let's find out. Yep, there it is. There it is. But again, where is the message we just added? Well, Let's just say that the code to print it got to run, but too late. This code right here. And unlike the move file operation above, JSCause doesn't know that it has to wait for the callback to complete before sending a response back to the browser. The callback gets ignored completely. Node.js eventually invokes the callback, but by that time, everything has already been sent to the browser. The output missed the train, so to speak, so it gets discarded. Letting JSCause know of the callback is easy. Wrap it around an rt.waitFor function. Let's restart. Let's reload. Now everything works. Remember, JSCause asynchronous functions do not require that we provide rt.waitFor, like the move file. It's only for non-JSCause functions, like fs.writeFile. Other functions you may want to use them with would be setInterval and setTimeout. You may be tempted not to use rt.waitFor in certain circumstances. You should always provide rt.waitFor. If an error occurs in the callback, the whole server will shut down. Not a good experience for your visitors. The rule of thumb is the more you stay within JSCause's ecosystem, the more safeguards your code will have. In the next lesson, we'll list all our recipes in the home page.